Ukrainian military forces destroy 4 Russian tanks with Stugna-P anti-tank missiles. Watch Ukraine's army destroy 4 Russian armored vehicles with Stugna-P guided missiles close to the front lines of battle. Ukraine's military forces managed to target and hit 4 Russian tanks in the Donetsk Oblast region. Ukraine's forces used Stugna-P anti-tank guided missiles in order to successfully obliterate the Russian armored vehicles. Ukrainian troops have been gifted top-of-the-range missiles in order to push back on the Russian onslaught on their land. And the British government has agreed to replenish NLAW stocks in weeks. The video begins with 2 Russian armored vehicles driving across a large field in Donetsk Oblast. Ukraine's armored forces locate and target the 2 tanks before aiming at the moving vehicles with Stugna-P anti-tank guided missiles. The first 2 tanks can be seen to erupt into smoke and flames upon impact. The second 2 tanks can be seen to be hit with the same force before erupting into flames. The British government has vowed to keep sending Ukraine weapons since the beginning of the invasion. The British government are planning to send more top-of-the-range weapons to military forces in Ukraine in the next few weeks. The former Defense Procurement Minister Alex Shelbrook said, "We continue to equip Ukraine with vital supplies, such as NLAWs. We are replacing equipment and munitions from UK stocks and are on schedule to place contracts to replenish NLAW stocks." Meanwhile, Russian forces have sustained catastrophic losses since sweeping counter assaults forced them to retreat in the east and south, with the total death toll now estimated at over 71,000, according to Ukrainian military officials. Russian troops were filmed accidentally flipping their armored vehicle as they desperately tried to flee a Ukrainian attack in the southern Kherson region. In rare footage behind Russian lines, dozens of soldiers can be seen frantically boarding the vehicle as they screamed at the driver to take them to safety. As Ukrainian missiles rain down on the Russian forces, the armored vehicle speeds off down a highway before accidentally careening off the road and flipping over, sending the soldiers flying. It comes as Russia suffered its heaviest losses of soldiers in one day, with Ukraine reporting that nearly 1,000 troops were killed between October 29th and October 30th. In the footage, Russian soldiers are heard yelling to their comrades to find safety as Ukraine's armed forces advance on them and fire missiles in their direction. The soldiers scramble on top of the armored vehicle and appear relieved as they speed off down the road away from the attack. One soldier, clinging to the front of the vehicle, loses his hat in the wind, but another troop waves his hand, dismissing it. The soldiers then appear to be smiling as they believe they escaped to safety. But the driver, struggling to deal with the volume of soldiers on his vehicle, accidentally veers to the right, off the road and into a ditch. As he tries to bring the vehicle back onto the road, it flips over, sending the scores of Russian soldiers atop the vehicle flying into the road. The video then cuts out. The rare footage of Russian soldiers exemplifies the extent of fighting in Kherson, which has in the last few weeks become the focal point of conflict in Ukraine, as both sides prepare for the winter, during which fighting will be largely halted due to poor weather conditions. The strategic southern region just north of Crimea has seen thousands of Ukrainian troops descend on the villages surrounding the main port city, which is their ultimate target. It comes as Russian President Vladimir Putin suffered the deadliest period of fighting in his invasion of Ukraine after a record number of Russian soldiers were killed in a single day. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine reported the country's military killed 950 Russian soldiers between October 29th and 30. Lieutenant General Saruti Shaptala wrote on Facebook, "It was a good day. The occupiers suffered the biggest losses in the Donetsk and Lyman directions. It is the highest death toll in a single day for Russian soldiers since they invaded Ukraine on February 24th. It details the extent of Ukrainian advances in the eastern regions as they rapidly regain territory after Russian forces occupied swaths of the regions at the start of the summer. As the battle for the city of Kherson nears its beginning, Russia has been rounding up thousands of men to defend the strategic point. But the UK's Ministry of Defence has suggested the recruits are poorly equipped and even without weapons in some cases. They reported, in September, Russian officers were concerned that some recently mobilized reservists were arriving in Ukraine without weapons. The integration of reservists with contract soldiers and combat veterans in Ukraine will mean Russian logisticians will have to push two types of small arms ammunition to frontline positions, rather than one. This will likely further complicate Russia's already strained logistics systems.